Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We are going into Bishop versus Zealot. This is game number 2. Game 1 was one of the closest games I've ever seen. Could not believe, dude, I can't believe I was building up literally to like, how good is Zealot really? This is crazy. And then he instantly dies. What a decisive victory from Bishop. We're on the same map, so that's like awesome. Pantheon once again, and let's see if Zealot, if he gets such a lead, can he maintain it? The thing is, I feel like Bishop has so many different styles of play. If you're playing the same guy multiple times in a row, like you could make the opener look similar and then do something completely different. You know, like that could make this like kind of tough. And he's actually positionally speaking, like if you look at where he has spawned in relation to Zealot, he'll most likely scout in that direction. Okay, so on most maps, you always scout like clockwise or counterclockwise when you're playing Terran versus Zerg, because the best Overlord path is to land over a natural. Okay, so like this natural, or if you look at this natural, right, the Overlord would want to be here. And that's what Zealot did in the previous game. Now, of course, Zerg should be randomizing a little bit where their Overlord flies. Even though sending it in this direction is technically the best move, you don't want it to be too predictable. But Terran will, because Zerg will most of the time fly it towards the other natural, and they poke in a little bit to see if you're there. By scouting counterclockwise on this particular map, what happens is you see the Overlord as it's coming down to scout with your SCV. So then you suddenly know, oh, he's top right. And you can just turn your scout right around. So what I'm saying is he got the lucky spawns twice where he gets to scout Zealot first, which means that he can skip his second depot and go for that command center because he knows no lings are on the way. And that's exactly, well, I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. We'll see in a second as he finishes this. See that money go up? Notice no depot is started. You want to start the second depot right before the barracks finishes to make sure no supply blocks occur. But there you go. So Bishop getting kind of like the lucky first scout both times. It's not the end of the world for Zealot. There's pluses and minuses to this. Like I mentioned before, when you go for a command center this quickly, you can't put the very early marine pressure on Zerg, so Zerg is actually just completely free to drone. Let's see, though, if he goes for those 6 lings again. I bet you this time he waits for the pool to finish and makes 3 drones. Or 2 drones and a set of lings. Oh, no, he makes all 6. Okay, so he is going to do that again. The thing is, last game that we saw, and I hope that you guys watched that, or like a lot of the things I'm saying might not make sense, but the last game that we saw, those 6 lings almost did fantastically. Instead, they did nothing. And that, you know, that happens. And it's not the end of the world. It does put you a little bit behind a Zerg, but yeah, it looks like he's going to go for that again. We do have this very nice wall. And notice how he's peeking in. He wants to see, like, okay, do you actually have anything there? And if the Marine is out of position like this, that can help the Lings to get in more quickly. So we'll see if Zealot tries to block that at all. It is the fast engineering bay once again, and a very fast academy. Huh. He might be getting the academy that quickly. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me talk about that in a second because he is running in. Dude, look at how glitched they are because of this Marine. 6 lings, if they're controlled 100% perfectly, will break through this. Like, you won't die as Bishop, but he'll get some value, right? He'll probably kill 3 Marines plus. Maybe get into the main base for a scout. Okay, anyways, I want to jump back to this real quick. I feel like this quick academy is specifically maybe to get Comsat quickly, but he's still got his SCV alive, so maybe that's not the case. The thing is, you don't know if your SCV is going to be alive by the time you need the Comsats. So keeping this SCV alive for now, that's really good. He's going to come up here, see the creep colony. The drone already kind of pieced out, and he is doing this 5 Marine push out. But already the creep colony is on the way. The Overlord, of course, can kind of see what's going on in this general area. Trying to lure this out. Just trying to get any damage he can. This isn't going to do too much, I don't think. Like, if you commit on this, you're actually not going to kill it. It is going to finish, and then as it finishes, he'll attack in with the Lings, and the Marines are not going to break. The Sunken, which would be at about half health at that time, plus the 4 Lings, it just won't happen. So that's a good turnaround. It's just something that you learn over time. Like, almost a muscle memory. What is... Actually, I don't know the terminology for this. Okay? So, like, that's not technically muscle memory. Muscle memory would be more like my hands already know how to micro the Marines in a certain situation. But, like, as you approach and you see the health of it, and you see your army and his army, like, in the head of a StarCraft player that plays a lot, you automatically can calculate exactly what's going to happen. So you just turn around. Whereas, like, a newer player might walk in, someone with less experience might walk in and be like, oh, it's not finished, let's go. And then they lose everything. You're like, oh, okay. I don't know actually the word for that, but it's like this automatic calculation that happens in your head where you just already know exactly how that's going to go. And so you make a different decision. So if anyone actually knows how to verbalize that without having to explain it for so long, please do let me know, actually, because it's kind of an interesting aspect of StarCraft, I think. And yeah, I definitely know that I do that a lot during commentary. So anyways, the Muta's coming in, and he has 4 racks. So that's kind of the standard, kind of the normal play. And we will see if he wants to go for very heavy barracks once again. No missile turret at the depots, but generally depots are low-value targets at the first swipes. You don't really have enough mutas to kill them quickly or anything, and there's less turrets in general, so you want to fly in and see if you can get damage elsewhere. Now, it's only 5 mutas, and he might end up losing one here. Yeah, just barely loses that one. But, you know, he's getting a decent scout as to what's going on and everything. Comes back, going to put some damage on the depots, but might still want to look elsewhere. He does have 7 mutas now, which means he can one-shot SCVs. Pushing these mutas back a little bit. And let's take a look over at ZeloT's side. Okay, so he has the third base up. +1 still going. Bishop does start the +1 armor once again, and in fact is adding another barracks. If he goes up to 8 racks again, I'm going to have to start testing this build. Oh my god. Dude, he's doing it. Like, is this going to be a new meta? Like, I haven't seen this before until the previous game. It could be something people have come up with. I've talked a lot in various Terran vs. Zerg casts, whether it's be SSL or here, about how Terran players are trying for busts for the most part, because late game, like Defiler Zerg, is really hard to play against at the moment. And we're seeing this where it's like, okay, well, a lot of people try to bust with 4x +1 or 5x +1 and leaving themselves an out of getting a factory and going up into science vessels. He's not leaving himself any out. He's just saying, nope, we're doing it. We're going for the bust 100%. So these mutas getting trapped a little bit. They are whittling things down. There is no Hydralisk Den yet for ZeloT. And the mutas flying in, like, they're getting some okay damage, but he's taking a lot of damage on them. So I don't know how much he's going to be able to slow him. By the way, Bishop's in a slightly better position this game. You can see that his SCV count is 3 higher than what we saw in the previous game, even after that harassment run. You know, his production seems pretty good, pretty solid. I feel like he's killed more mutas this game as well. He's actually coming out right now and trying to deal with this. He should be able to kill that Overlord, but actually the mutas are trying to protect it so it has time to get away, so that it would cost another scan to kill. That was actually pretty darn good. He keeps it alive. And the mutas actually fly in and get on top of the Marines and Medics. Dude, this is almost a carbon copy of the previous game. It is so close. It's like basically the same strats. He's even doing the jumps on the Marines Medics and getting rid of them. It is 1 less barracks here for Bishop. And Bishop's money is actually getting a little bit high. He's adding a few more missile turrets. A little bit more stability as far as the defense goes. His +1 armor is almost done. These depots still taking a beating. And the Lurker upgrade is on the way. Again, Bishop is very all in here. And if Lurkers get up, remember that last game, like he technically had time to get the Lurkers up, but he didn't do it. He just simply didn't do it. I don't want to say wasn't able to, but he just didn't start the Lurkers on time. And that was all the difference Bishop needed. Here, his +1 armor is about to finish. That has to be your attack timing. Like, you do not have... This is such a tight window to try to win this game as Bishop. Now, the muta's staying on top of the barracks. I think ZeloT has slowed him down so much that this should be a victory for him. But let's see. The Marines and Medics are moving out. Okay, he's going to catch one of the rallies. Ooh, some good damage there. Why are the Hydras up here? Oh, they're just set on the rally that the mutas were on. This is not where you want them, but he actually brings them down to fight. I think because they were here, he decided to do that, and he's eliminating the Marines and medics once again. Oh my God. He might just go for a lurker contain now because he killed so much. Wow. He sees what's going on over here. 4 lurkers on the way. If the lurkers burrow, you don't even have a factory started. You lose the game. The mute is still picking off so much. Look at this. The last game, 1040, is when the bust happened. We're at 1040. The lurkers are done. So he actually nailed his lurkers this time, and he gets them. That's it. That's game. Yeah, and he's going to GG as soon as there's lurkers because his build was all in. Wow. Wow. This is a hidden gem for improvement and more understanding in StarCraft, to see 2 pros play back-to-back games that were almost exactly the same with completely different outcomes. Almost exactly the same. So what was different this game that allowed ZeloT the victory? Because, dude, everything looked the same. There, a couple things to mention is, in the previous game, Bishop was able to kill this Overlord, and he killed it a little bit earlier, if I recall correctly, than when he tried to kill it this time, but ZeloT did stall that out. I don't think that was a big issue. But I just want to mention, I don't think that was a big issue. The harassment, okay, he keeps him kind of back here. The actual SCV count was a bit better for Bishop. He's dogging the army a lot. This is what you want to see. The reinforcement's really, really good. Again, the economy's a bit better. You know what? I think these are some of the moves. Because we saw ZeloT exactly with this particular move many times, where the bio's in front of the 2 depots, and then the mutas fly back in here and kill units that are rallying from these barracks up to here. In the previous game, I'm remembering the base layout, right? He had a turret here because this was the position for him, and he had the barracks here, and like he had turrets, but then they died, and they were like kind of in this area. Okay, if I'm recalling correctly, guys, originally the turrets were like right here. In the previous game, these turrets are here. Would this make a difference if the turrets were here to give a little bit more cover to the Marines coming out? I don't think that was in particular the thing, but sometimes turrets chase things away even when they shouldn't be chased away. It's like you see an area of static D and you're like, okay, we'll stay a little bit further back from that. So that might be a little part of it. Yeah, he abused this general area very hard. You can see he's killed so many Marines in there, and then it's a straight line back to here. And we didn't really see that play here as much. More of the play was out here in the previous game. That is like, honestly, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed seeing 2 games that were almost exactly the same right in a row like this, because for me, I'm serious. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is making me, like, my brain is rejiggering right now. It's making me think about, like, okay, how important is the harassment in this area? How important, right? Is that the difference? Is the Terran victory more hinged on just keeping the mutas out here? Well, in some ways, absolutely yes. Like, this is something that we have talked about a lot. We're keeping that forward pack of Marines is very important because it keeps the mutas out of your base. But there were so many almost free Marine kills in this little box. And I think that that's the difference, where he never really hit the critical mass that he felt he could move out with. But damn, I love it. And we have a 3rd game. We're going to look at it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed. And yeah, GG.